Everyone, it's Desiree. I am here with Rubber Stamp Tapestry, better known as peg stamps. The names are definitely interchangeable. I'm going to be using the Indian Summer peg stamp set, and it has beautiful leaves that you can create many things with. What I'm going to do is I dug into my stash for some scrap white cardstock, and I'm just going to go to town and I'm going to have a ball stamping. The inks that I'm using are the Simon Says Stamp Positively inks. I'm really starting to like them and the versatility that you have with this dye ink. The colors that I'll be using are citrine, pucker, field, cherry, iris, and mocha. So we've got, the reds, the oranges, yellows, greens, purples, and yellows, if I didn't already say that. And we're going to add a little bit of gold embossing to this. But this is a great way to grab those scraps that we just cannot get rid of and just create your own pattern paper. As we create this, it can fall in line if you've seen my Simplicity series, where the pattern paper does the work for us. We don't have to get into all different types of techniques. Pattern paper is absolutely beautiful, and again, does that work for us. We just have to cut it into the different sizes that we want, whether it's shapes, stripes, or use it as a full background panel. You can see I'm just adding all of these colors in. I'm creating clusters. What is great when it comes to these peg stamps is you don't have to be concerned about if you stamp over another image. The more you stamp over, the more you cluster all of these together, the more beautiful this image becomes. I know it kind of goes against our stamping principles in a way, where if we do want to stamp over something, we have to mask it. And that is very true when it comes to a character. If we have a little tiny mouse holding a present and the present is a separate stamp, we want to stamp that present first, then mask it, then stamp that image over it to make it look like it's in front of them. So in that case, yes. But with these, because of the way the images are designed, they just come to life when you create these clusters and just fill up your panel. I'm using the, also within this set, I'm sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there. There's like a vine that goes in this as well that just kind of ties everything together. Remember, on your peg stamps, there is a registry line. When you have that line facing directly towards you, and what you see on the top is what that stamp is going to look like when you stamp it. Now that I have these two strips all stamped up and patterned up there, let's cut them into different sizes. We're going to cut these up into squares. We're going to cut these up into full-size panels. We're going to cut these up into large squares. We're going to cut these up into strips. And the same principle of what I do in my Simplicity series, I'm going to grab some solid cardstock. And I dug into some of my scraps there, and I'm going to create the mats. I don't measure, and I know that drives everybody crazy. But again, I just want to enjoy the process. What I do a lot of times is if I stick with general sizes, 1.5 inch stripe, a 2 inch stripe, when it comes to our strips. Or stripes, as I've been saying. When it comes to squares, those are, you can see, 2 inch by 2 inch squares. So you can cut your mat to either be 2.5 by 2.5 or 2.25 by 2.25, whatever it is you're looking for that mat, that border around your pattern paper to be. And stay tuned because I'm going to have something for everybody that I think you all are going to enjoy. When it comes to those shapes that I cut too, there are times as well that I'll just take that shape and put it down onto a piece of solid cardstock and then cut around it to create that border. We always don't have to be locked in to those measuring dimensions. Now, if that's what you like and if that's what you're comfortable with, then you know what? That's perfect. I am not saying the way I create is how everybody should create, or how you create is, there's no one way to create. And again, that's what's beautiful about any craft that we do. We develop our own tips, tricks, techniques, and different ways that we take something from nothing and turn it into something. That's the concept of creating art, and that is what we do here. You may use different shades of ink for these. Maybe all of your leaves are going to be different shades of reds with pops of purple. Again, look at what all of these creators are doing and mold it to how you create. That's what's great. And you can see that's what I did with that strip. I placed it down and then I just cut alongside of it using my long edge scissors. Now that I have these all matted up, I'm going to set these down onto my 4 1/4 by 5.5 panels. That size I do know. 9 out of 10, I am making a standard A2 size card. Again, 4 1/4 by 5.5. I do, though, enjoy a good 5 by 7, 6 by 6, or 7 by 7. Gives me more real estate to create on. But since these are the standard size, I actually have those panels. I apologize for that noise that just happened there. And since these are falling in line with the Simplicity series, I am just creating the design panel. And what I mean by that is this will be placed onto a standard A2 size card base when I need a card. It helps to save in space because I store these in a photo box. I get my photo boxes from Michael's, and that's how I'll store them. And I store them by color. And theme, if there is a theme, if I've used Christmas papers or papers with balloons or florals, and then I'll just pick out what I need. Slow that video down so that you can see all the different designs that we came out by simply having fun with our scraps, creating our own pattern paper, using our peg stamps, and then matting them onto our card bases. Now, you could choose a different card base color for your cards. I hope you enjoyed today's video. All the products that I used will be linked down below in the video description. And if you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below as well. Make sure you subscribe and hit that thumbs up. Enjoy the process. Have fun with it. I hope I gave you some tips and tricks along the way, but always remember, it's still most important to me. Always be creative, guys, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Till then.